we have a Discord topic. This is usually one of the last topics we do, but now we'll do it right now. No real reason. It's usually one of the last ones. But if you guys don't know, in the Discord server, the MeCast Discord server, down below, go join so you can participate in stuff like this. There, I post a question in a channel for podcast topics, and basically it's like if you, I list 3 topics, and you select a reaction that goes with a topic, and whichever one gets the most votes is the topic we talk about. So the first topic is the issue with games as a service. That one topic's just never going to go away. That's just never going to... Kermit, I've had that topic forever on here.
What topic?
The issue with games as a service. I've had that topic here forever, and it's just, like, no one's ever going to pick it. The second topic is unpopular gaming opinions. And the third topic, that wins by quite a bit. What kind of game needs a remake and what kind don't? So as you see, once again, the issue with games as a service loses. I think that's going to be a running joke on this podcast now. Guys, just never pick that, alright? Anyways, what video games deserve remakes and what video games don't? Now, what I mean here is, like, I thought of this because of the rumors and leaks, and basically being all but confirmed that they're doing a complete remake of The Last of Us, and I'm like, why? Like, The Last of Us is a fantastic game, don't get me wrong, but that's the point here. Why would you remake it? And it's not even that old either. The game hasn't... I can't say the game has aged badly or aged very well. It hasn't had much time to age. Like, they've already remastered it. So that's one thing. It's like, why do you need to remake this? So that's an example of a game that does not need a remake. But a game that does need a remake, or I guess did, was Resident Evil 2. You know, just... excuse me. Just the... Oh, the gameplay, like, it was good for the time. I think it might have been... Or this was really the first Resident Evil, but still, it was revolutionary for the time, how it was sort of just in that fixed position. I mean, Alone in the Dark did it first. That was the one that revolutionized it, but Resident Evil was the more popular game anyways. So, and then Resident Evil 2 came out and was a lot better. But, like, the fixed camera angles and everything, the weird controls, that have not aged well. So, a remake, making Resident Evil 2 in third person. The first one got remade as well, so I should throw that one in there too. Making these games in third person and making them like Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6. Bada boom. Those are 2 great games to remake. Final Fantasy VII Remake. I know you saw that one coming if I brought up Resident Evil 2. That's an example of a game you should remake. A game you shouldn't remake is The Last of Us, like I said. But also, while we were on the subject of Resident Evil, last year there were rumors and basically leaks. It was basically confirmed that they were going to remake Resident Evil 4, and it was going to come out next year. That game I don't think needs a remake. Like, because the first 3 Resident Evil games were remade to be more like Resident Evil 4. What the fuck you gonna remake Resident Evil 4 to be more like? The first-person ones? The whole 2 of them that have sort of mixed opinions? I like the first-person perspective of the Resident Evil games. Resident Evil 7, the first-person perspective was scary. Resident Evil 8, it was made less scary, but, like, the first-person perspective did add a sense of fear that was otherwise absent just because... I kid you not, Kermit, I don't know if you heard about this, but there are complaints about the Resident Evil 7 being too scary, so Capcom toned down the scariness of 8. But still, no. are they gonna remake Resident Evil 4 into first person? That would be interesting. I'll say that would be interesting, but like that's a bit of a stretch, I feel. So like what are they gonna do with Resident Evil 4? How are they gonna remake that? Let's see, what game deserves a remake? Honestly, we kind of touched on it briefly earlier. Skyward Sword HD. It's more like a port, but the fact that they're making it so that you don't need to use motion controls, that's a bit of a remake right there. They fixing up the controls, that's kind of remaking a game, I feel. And it needed that. A lot of people love Skyward Sword, but a lot of people say it's the worst Zelda game because of the motion controls. And I get it. It's like you just gotta obviously flailing your sword around is cool, but not when you have to do it in real life, I guess. So you have the option to play it with just button controls, and people prefer that a lot better. That's a game that needed an enhancement, like a remake. Kermit the Frog.
That's me.
Can you think of I don't know? What are your thoughts on remakes of games that deserve remakes? A remake of Resident Evil or Final Fantasy VII, and what are your thoughts on remakes of I don't know, the thought of a Last of Us remake or the thought of a Resident Evil 4 remake? I mean, I'll still Resident Evil 4. I guess it's aged very well, but I guess an HD version or whatever, or I making it for modern consoles, making it look next gen and everything. That would be pretty cool. But I don't think it needs an overhaul, And Last of Us definitely doesn't need an overhaul. You can just play that on the PS4, the remastered version, and play that on the PS5 because it's backwards compatible. But anyway, sorry. What do you think about games that deserve remakes and games that don't? And while you're at it, maybe list an example of a game that you think deserves a remake, and a game that doesn't. So yeah, go.
Yeah, I'm excited. Wait, what? Yeah, games that deserve remakes should definitely get remakes. Obviously, if a game is old or if it's not the best for whatever reason, or it hasn't aged quite as well, then a remake is kind of in order. But if it's if the game is fine and it hasn't been that long, like The Last of Us, then there's no real reason to remake it.
Yeah.
And I feel that game in particular, I think Slash said something it's probably because The Last of Us 2 did so well that they just want more money.
Yeah, I don't mean to cut you off, but you know what year The Last of Us came out in?
Can I guess?
Go.
2011.
Yeah, you're actually pretty close.
2008, right?
No, higher.
Just tell me.
2013.
8 years.
They remastered it already, and they're gonna remake it. Come on, you don't need to do that, really.
Just remaster it, and they already did that. So it's what?
And just port the remaster over to the PS5. Oh wait, no, you can just play the PS4 game on the PS5. How about you just don't do anything? I don't know why I'm acting. I'm acting so toxic. But
you're very toxic.
Would you what's an example of a game? I'll list one of each as well. What's an example of a game that you think deserves a remake, and one that you don't think does?
Let's say Super Mario Bros. The original. Because that game has been expanded upon in the sequels and stuff, and it's not really so much a need of a sequel of a remake, because the formula has been repeated and stuff.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, what's a game that doesn't deserve? That deserves a sequel.
You mean a remake?
Maybe yeah, that's what I said. Maybe Well, not like right now, but in a couple years, a game that's like glitchy or something. Maybe like a game like Cyberpunk. Obviously not Cyberpunk because it literally just came out this year. But like a game like Cyberpunk that is like kind of glitchy and is kind of old, maybe like 10 years old. Maybe then you can remake it, but that's even stretching it.
Yeah.
Um, the
Um.
Polar Express game, maybe games like that.
All right. A game that I think needs a remake.
Crazy Taxi.
No, Crazy Taxi has aged well. I actually thought of a few. Um,
Oh,
I wanted to just think of one, but I thought of a few.
okay.
I'll list them. I thought of A Link to the Past. I'm actually kind of surprised that game hasn't gotten a remake yet. A Link to the Past would do. Not that it actually aged very well, but if it gets a remake like Link's Awakening did, that would be good. That would be a really good remake. There's A Link to the Past. Then there's also, you see, they're remaking Resident Evil 4, but that's not the game they should do next. If they're gonna do it, they shouldn't do that one next. They should do Code Veronica next, because that game was more like Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3. So they should remake that to be more like 4. And it was on the Dreamcast. It's only exclusive to the Dreamcast. And you know what happened to the Dreamcast? So, like, yeah, bada boom. You got a game right there. As for a game that doesn't need a remake, I don't know, like The Last of Us is probably like a perfect example of a game that doesn't need a remake. I'll say, I think maybe, I didn't think of this one, as you can tell. You know what? I Skyrim. A game like Skyrim doesn't need a remake. Obviously, it gets ported a lot. Like, a full-on remake. Like, you don't need a remake of a game like that. So, yeah, I think this part of the episode has gone for quite a bit. So, any final thoughts, Kermit?
Doesn't need it.
What was that?
Minecraft doesn't need it either.
Are you're getting quiet? What are you doing?
Minecraft does not need a remake.
It does not. Yeah, no, it doesn't.